Good day, everyone. It's Isopods and more with me. I hope everything's going well with you and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. What you see in front of you is the the foundation of what I'm going to be putting together here, that being a home for my wild-caught Trachelipus Rathkii or Rathkii. I'm not exactly sure how that's pronounced. I'm going to start here in a moment, but I do just want to mention a few things before I get too far. So I have this cork bark. This, I don't know what it is, but it's the wild caught wood where I found my Porcellio spinicornis, and this is a piece of cholo wood, and I wanted to focus on this for a few reasons. You can see, I'm not sure how well you can see, I apologize, but I did pack it with stuff, a leaf or two, but you can see kind of wound in and out here is what that actually is a root from the sphagnum moss. I'm hoping it will grow or at least repopulate or over. But the reason I think this is going to be really neat specific is these are 3 different kinds of wood, and one thing I'm noticing about Trachelipus Rathkii is they are, I don't want to say burrowers so much, I think they are, but they tend to frequent the moist, wooded over areas. And I want to kind of recreate that for them. I make all of my enclosures a little bit unique, and I don't mean like in the flavorful way, but I try to make it a little bit more representative of what I understand about the isopod and their nature and what they prefer and all of that. Some like it drier, some prefer more substrate, different levels of humidity, heat, access to wood, leaf litter, things like that. And I try to take that all into account when I'm doing things like this. And this is nice and moist too. Good. Get that base layer down. And one other thing I wanted to mention is I know a lot of people have a derision for these things, and I love them for 2 reasons. The first is I'll maybe show a video if I can recall, but I noticed isopods like to climb and eat it. I also use it to, like, I'll just kind of show here. I'll just throw it through here. I like to do things like this because when I put this down, this gives a way for water to run down. So when I have, for example, this is here going to be the moist side, or I guess on the left as you watch, but this side is the left. I hope you know what side is the left. This is going to be their moist side. But, well, I guess including here, when I create other micro habitats, micro environments, whatever, I say microcosm, this will allow water to run down really well. Additionally, when I throw substrate down, just by nature of this moving, the substrate will be a little bit more loose and allow the isopods to kind of go down there and burrow a little bit easier than more packed substrate. I'm going to play with this for a moment. I have to... calcium sand. And this is charcoal. I always like to put just a little heavier of that into the moisture area or the hydration station to hopefully allow springtails and to promote a little bit more in there. I'm curious how the substrate over time will work into that cholla wood with all of its holes. So I don't recall if I said it, but the reason I felt I wanted to put those 3 pieces of wood kind of central to this is the fact that every time I find them, they're kind of below the surface in that moist environment, but always on the wood. And the one wood I have in there is what I have naturally, and the other 2 are purchased, but I just wanted to offer that variety to them, the cholla wood, and see which they prefer and all of that. Give them those little, I guess, choices. The ability to find what little habitats they prefer in here and utilize them well. I want to make sure none of these leaves are poking up too high. I'm going to put a little more substrate in that corner. It looks a little bit light. But I also want to leave that cholla wood exposed a little. Maybe what I like to do is, that's not a good one to use. I'll take a leaf and kind of throw it there as a barrier. That's not a great one either. Throw another one down over it gently. And then just throw a little bit of substrate over that. And that leaf will generally hold and leave access down there. Now I'm going to clean this up a little bit with tweezers so my hands don't mess everything up. I'm going to clean that up, clean the sides and the moisture off. So before I dump those guys in, I want to see how well I can show this. But this is the container that the Rathkii were in originally, and there you can see on the side there and kind of there are mancae in here, and I'm just kind of worried they're dwarf whites. I think everything is making me think of dwarf whites right now, so I'm eager to see. Man, that's a nice group. This bin I'm going to keep isolated, just make sure they grow up to be what they're supposed to be. Make sure those aren't the spawns of some little invaders. But I'm excited about this. There are so many in here. That's obviously just scratching the surface, literally and metaphorically. So let's get these guys covered up and out. Get the moms and the dads and the brothers and sisters. Put these guys in here this morning. As I mentioned, I was going through redoing their bins, so to speak. So these are my Trachelipus Rathkii. I'm not good at doing this over the camera. I apologize if I bump it, and I'm also looking through the camera. I'm not good at that either. There were a few smaller juveniles in there. I'm going to kind of move off to this side. Try and give a little look before I start pulling these guys out. I'm probably just going to pour most of this because there's not much substrate. I'll put you there. And yeah. Sorry, buds, but you'll be a lot happier in there. We're going to wrap up about here. Thanks for spending this time with me and my Trachelipus Rathkii. I hope everything's going well with you, and you're taking care of yourselves and the ones you love. And until next time, go easy.